Hey, I did a short on this guy. Oh dear, I hope everyone saw my short. But now it's time for the full video. Yay! Intro.
Hello, church. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. I look up in the sky, I see clear skies, and I see chemtrails everywhere.
Now tonight's video is a channel called I2I9129. A very ominous, strange name, but at least let's get one thing right in the description of this video. Don't just listen to him, look it up for yourself. And if you do that, you'll find that this guy is crazy. Now, we don't know how crazy this guy is going to be because this is as far as I ever got in his video. So it's going to be as much a surprise for you as it is for me. Oh dear. It's not looking good though, is it?
Crisscrossing. They're everywhere, folks. Pay attention. Pay attention how the ConTrails disappear and the chemtrails do not. They sit there for hours.
Now, shouldn't that be the other way around? Because aren't the whole idea of chemtrails is to cover us all in chemicals? Well, if they're staying up in the sky for hours, that's not what we want them to do. The logic that's behind this is just ridiculous. And I'm sure when you've gone and go, oh, that's a contrail because it's disappeared, and that's a chemtrail because it's there for hours, you've actually checked the atmospheric conditions in the area. You checked high, low pressure, temperatures, things like that, to see if the ones that are staying there, if it's maybe a bit colder and the ice crystals are building up, latching on to the contrails that are already there. No, you didn't do that. Did I do that? No, I didn't. Because I'm not a nutter who wants to prove my crazy ass fucking theory.
If you look at the Bible, the book of Genesis, chapter 1.
Wait, I've got it right here. And then God did smiteth the contrails. He did bringeth downeth the contrails of doom, and replaceth them with chemtrails. And thus the evil was smited from this world. Is that right? It's in the Holy Book of Antioch, so it must be right.
It talks about a firmament over our heads. And God spent a whole day on the firmament, guys. It separates the waters above from the waters below.
I had to just check that because I thought, no, I'm sure the firmament was the first day. No, the firmament was literally just the second day. To put in comparison, on the third day, he made all the land, the oceans, all the trees, all the grass, all the plants. But no, that's the same time it took him to make the firmament. Maybe he should have got some of those good Polish builders in because they would have knocked it up in half that time. And then he could have got other stuff done. He could have had a longer weekend to chill out. Oh, how silly is that? Also, if you're going to use the Bible as evidence, maybe we'll ignore certain books of it and things for you because, you know, insects 4 legs, ants not having a queen, the wrong seeds being the smallest because there are smaller seeds, almost as if the Bible's not accurate and correct on things like that.
When the flood came in Noah's day, God opened the firmament and let the waters of heaven come in. And then he also opened up the fountains of the deep, the waters below. There are also many passages in the Bible that talk about the earth resting on pillars, that it has foundations.
Now I feel like this is going to be a very silly question, but do you have any evidence for the flood? Any evidence for the firmament? Any evidence for anything you're going to say in this video? I think we all know the answer at this point, don't we?
Now, when I used to read Genesis 1, it did not make sense, guys. And I was constantly filled with doubt when I read Genesis because I didn't understand. I was fed the globe model, folks, and space, and heliocentrism.
Yeah, see, I could see how that could be a problem. To go from a world with evidence to a world that just revolves around, damn my holy book. The two, they don't mash together very well, shall we say. Yeah, maybe, don't take your holy book literally.
Guys, how is all the stars supposed to fall to Earth if there are trillions of stars and other galaxies out there, billions and trillions of miles away from Earth? Is gravity going to pull all those stars in? No, folks.
Well, it could do. I mean, you'd need something really, really, really big to create that much gravity. Like your mum's ass.
There is a firmament over our heads, which God created and put the stars in the firmament, and the sun and the moon as well, and they rotate around us. We are the center of God's creation, and that is what they're hiding from us, guys. They want us to feel insignificant. Then they introduce evolution.
Hang on a minute. If the stars, the sun and the moon are in the firmament, how are they going to drop down to Earth? I mean, is God going to come along with a big hammer and smash the firmament so they can get out? Does that make any more sense to you than fucking a huge amount of gravity pulling things in anyway? Both seem like stupid ideas, but at least ours has got some sort of scientific basis behind it. And as for evolution to make us feel insignificant, I'd rather be the species that evolved and the 1 in a billion chance of us being here rather than we're in God's terrarium and he's just looking down at us going, haha, I know exactly what he's going to do because no one's got any free will because I know everything that's coming. And if I know everything that's coming, that means you've already made that decision, which means you don't have a decision in what you're going to do. Yeah, that doesn't seem very special at all, does it?
A couple hundred years after they introduced the heliocentric model, started by Nicholas Copernicus.
Now, while we can slightly agree that around 350, 400 years after Copernicus, you got Darwin, theory of evolution, all that, Copernicus' heliocentrism didn't change the fact that people before him understood the Earth was a globe. It didn't suddenly change overnight from a flat Earth with Copernicus, you know. It wasn't a sudden, ooh, the world's maybe round. No. People had understood for thousands of years that the Earth was fucking round. People who had no access to technology back in ancient Greece, but could still, I reckon if I gave them a fucking phone and told them to make a video, could still figure out how to do landscape mode and not shitty portrait. And even they might appreciate the idea of, recording a video while driving. That seems fucking stupid.
So, you got the heliocentric model, then you got evolution, and now they're talking about aliens.
Who's talking about aliens? Sci-fi movies? Things like that? Because as far as I've seen, we have no actual evidence of aliens. A bit like firmaments and things. But the difference is, yes, we have evolution with a shed ton of evidence. Heliocentrism with a shed ton of evidence. Aliens, no evidence as such, but the number of planets, the number of galaxies and everything like that, the chances of aliens are actually quite high. Whereas all you have is, no, we can't have any of that.
They're talking about aliens for the last 60 years or so, even longer, 70 years. They've been putting it in movies, science fiction books, all sorts of stuff.
The fact you think we've only been talking about aliens for 60 or 70 years is actually quite laughable. War of the Worlds, the original novel, is over 100 years old. And if you go back through the centuries, you got Voltaire, More, Kepler, all the way back through to ancient Greece, 2nd century AD. We're talking about possibility of life on other planets. Because, you know, people for fucking thousands and hundreds of years had known the Earth wasn't flat and there were other fucking planets. The actual sodding fuck.
Guys, there is an agenda, and I'm not sure if it is man's agenda or Satan's agenda, but I do believe man is involved in it to a certain extent. NASA, for example. The founder of NASA, NASA started...
And this is a prime example of why you shouldn't make videos while driving. Your concentration is split between the two, and it's taking you seconds upon seconds to get a full point out, with your brain having to think about it, which is possibly affecting your fucking concentration on the road. Fucking hope. I really hope you never get into an accident while recording a fucking video. But if you do, I hope it counts as fucking evidence to have you arrested and so you can lose your fucking license for being fucking distracted knob cheese.
NASA started with Operation Paperclip right after World War II.
Nope. Just nope. NASA 1958, the war 1945. I mean, really, stop following flat earth memes. Maybe get a little more creative and actually have a little bit of research into things. Maybe look at JPL, the Jet Propulsion Laboratories, because they've been about since like 1936. So surely that could have been the basis for NASA. Oh wait, it sort of is. So maybe looking at things rather than flat earth memes would be handier for you. I mean, JPL were slightly involved in Operation Paperclip. They were invited to look at the wreckages of V2s that came down over fucking London. These are things that maybe be worth looking at before you say something really, really stupid, which I really think is going to come in the next 2 clips, or maybe the next 2 seconds. We can be hopeful.
America brought in Nazi scientists, top Nazi scientists, including Wernher von Braun.
Yeah, and he was a world leader in rocketry. If he hadn't gone to the Americans, he would have gone to the Soviets. And considering the German rocketry program was years, possibly a decade or so ahead of everyone else's, that could have really screwed up the balance of power. I mean, as it was, Russia did make it into space, sort of first with Sputnik and things, but yeah.
So NASA was started by Nazis, you guys.
Told you he was going to say something fucking stupid. I just didn't think it was going to come along that quickly. Now, was NASA founded by Nazis in 1958? No. No, it wasn't. Was NASA founded in 1958 as a rise to Sputnik and to bring together all the different agencies and departments that were looking at putting things into space, not only into space, but using rockets as weapons that could possibly go boom and drop a big bomb on people? Yes. Yes, it was. Did they happen to employ Nazis and captured scientists from other countries? Yes. Yes, they did. Does the fact of the geopolitical situation at the time with the rising tensions of Russia and possible cold and nuclear war give them the right to employ the people who possibly should have been jailed and hung and things like that? That's not for me to answer, and I'm not getting into that debate in the fucking slightest.
And when Wernher von Braun died, on his tombstone was written the scripture, I believe it is Psalms 19:1, which says the heavens declare the firmament, or I'm sorry, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork.
And what does that matter? I'm really wondering where you're going to take this, because the last section, you've got a straight Lutheran who believed in intelligent design has his favourite psalm on his gravestone. Big whoop-de-fucking-do.
Now, what a coincidence, right, for top Nazi scientists who believes, who promotes space and creates rockets and heliocentrism would put a scripture like that on his tombstone, guys.
Really? Ooh. What is the possibility? Let's figure it out. So, you've got someone who believes in God, someone who believes in intelligent design, everything was put here for a reason, someone who's obsessed with space and wants to put rockets and wanted to go to the moon, puts a Bible passage about space on their grave. I think the chances of that are actually going to be quite fucking high. I mean, seriously. He's obsessed with space and he's a Lutheran, intelligent designer, blah, 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 blah. Why would there not be something Bible related on there? No, not sinking in. No. If that's the best evidence that you're presenting for a fucking flat earth, then wow. The globe earth really has nothing to worry about anything ever fucking changing with that level of fucking stupidity. Oh, I think that'll do for tonight. It's like the 4th video I've recorded. Thank you very much to all my members, Patreons, everyone who makes these videos possible. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe down below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Good night.